Increasingly, we inhabit our technology, and our technology is also a context within which we are forming our own selves. If you look back through the history of technology, new developments in technology have often brought with them new ways of forming the self. With the development of literacy came a more interior sense of the self, as the self was expressed in words. One of the things that we do when we write down our feelings is we exteriorize those things that are interior. We have a sense of something outside of ourselves that objectifies those things that are subjective. Writing diaries is a way to reflect upon one's inner self, to think about those thoughts and feelings, those passions that exist within us, and to become more discriminating in the way that we deal with them. With literacy, and with print, which encourages a greater degree of literacy, there is a thicker interiorization of the self, a thicker sense of who we are within, of our feelings, of our inner lives, and then out of that we relate to people in a different way. That new technology then of print and the literacy that comes with the broad spread of print is a new sense of self. The spiritual diaries that the Puritans and others would keep connects with the development of wider literacy. We can think also of the development of the novel as a form of literature that's far more attentive, not to the thick characters of oral songs and stories, but to the far more subtle psychological characters that we have in modern literature. Yet, with modern technology, new possibilities for the development of the self open up. You can imagine if you were in an Amazon rainforest, in a village where you had no still water, water was always flowing, you had no clear reflective surfaces, never having seen your face before, someone brings a mirror to your village, you would start to look at yourself in a very different way. Your sense of self would be formed through the reflection that you see of yourself, and as you see that in the morning, you begin to think, this is how other people see me. What a shocking thing. And then you start to have your sense of self mediated by an image outside of you. A technology, a very rudimentary technology of a flat surface that is reflective in which you can see yourself as others see you. Now, social media offers something similar. It offers a social surface within which we can see ourselves, onto which we can project ourselves. You can imagine if you're in a room with a two-way mirror, one of the things that happens is as you turn up the light in one part and turn off the light in the other, you can see through from the darkened room to the lightened room, and from the other room, you just see your reflection. Social media is, as it were, looking in a situation where the light is being turned up. And increasingly, as what we think we're doing is looking out on the world, we're looking at our own reflections, coming back at us. We become more and more aware of how we are appearing to others. When we look in that mirror of social media, we are constructing and forming ourselves. We are building a personal brand. We are not just saying things about the world and reality. We are positioning ourselves, presenting ourselves as certain sorts of people. We are compassionate people. Therefore, we say compassionate things. Yet social media is very much about images and words. Images and words, as we see in places like James, are not where it really counts. What's images and words if we don't have actions to back them up? The person on social media can project an image of compassion and care for the poor, of consideration of the people who are oppressed, vulnerable, marginalized, and yet in their day-to-day lives be quite indifferent to their actual situation and speaking and acting into their condition in a way that might make a concrete difference.